Now we're going to do lowbrow, which is about haters. Everybody knows about the haters. Those are essentially the people that you and I here and out there, of course, among our fans know. It could be you have job haters, people that just hate you on the job because you're doing well. They might be actually your boss, but they just find time to hate on you. You got club haters. It doesn't matter what club. You could be 50 years old at the ballroom. Some gray hair, blue hair doesn't like you because you dye your hair and you look better than she does. You got a lot of family haters. We do have family haters, which are people where, it could be, I hate to say it, could be mom and dad, hating on you. You're trying to do something with your life other than, just work the same regular job if you can get one in this economy. But you want to do something creative and you have hate there, or you might be the parent and child hating on you, just because you're maybe a little more spry, a little more social than they are, and they're going through that kind of middle phase where they're a little awkward. So you can see it anywhere. So that's kind of what we were about to talk about as far as what you can do and how to try to take on people without being always aggressive, but basically getting them to understand at some point that their hate is really not affecting you. So.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I think sometimes it can be a challenge in certain situations to find a balance between being aggressive and like being assertive, where you're trying to just make known what needs to happen in certain situations, or in relation to a situation where you're somebody's like superior in a job situation or something like that. But it's in my experience, I would say that situations in which I encounter this kind of behavior, it's always mystifies me. But sometimes you kind of wonder whether it's a personal thing, or whether it's something to do with that individual, or whether it might have something to do with pressure from society to to conform to what is supposed to have value to you in society, and or whether it might have to do with just the tendency of some people to be divisive. Whether it has to do with an individual characteristic, or just society at large. I find that a lot of times we tend to find things about each other. Sometimes we'll think of our differences as as ways to divide ourselves, as opposed to ways to embrace the diversity. And in certain situations, these things could actually make us stronger. And also in certain situations, I think it has to do with the subjectivity of what anyone would consider to be success. And with that, what the differences between people's goals. So that's just some of the things I try to take into consideration when I think of things like that. How about you?
Well, one thing like I said, a lot of times you have to consider hating as a form of either actual competition or imagined competition, and usually the hater is taking on more so of the mental anguish than you are, unless they can make your life actually live in hell. And that could be, like I said, unfortunately a boss or someone who has some kind of, I guess, influence over you. But a lot of times, like I said, there's protocol, there's ways to handle that. Sometimes people run the haters actually in the bedroom. It could be your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, and you're doing well. You're trying to build yourself up, do things, and they just, it could be something like they feel jealous or feel fearful that you'll be taken away by being so active or involved. And it may not be so much about other women or other men or just the distractions. It might just be that they just have a certain amount of insecurity or something like that. So that's one of those situations where that's a hate. You can convert that hater back to what we'll call not so much a lover, but, you know, somebody that's going to be an ally, you know, from a hater to a happy, let's call them that, because basically, you know, that's the person where you tell them, you know, you're part of this, is the reason why I'm doing this, and I mean, that can work too for your children, that can work too for any family. Family, a lot of times, they have to really work to hate, because essentially, you start off with the ideology. I mean, we see this in nature. Animals do, most higher vertebrates do embrace their young and are happy to kick them out, but see that they're successful and keep the gene pool moving and everything moving forward. But with humans, of course, you know, we're supposed to be so highly intelligent, but we find time to hate, to bother each other. So outside of, say, the family, a lot of times, and sometimes it's where you'll find the most hate, but a lot of times it's at mostly our jobs, places of even worship. You could be anything: Christian, Muslim, Jew, Zoroastrian, Wiccan. I guess I'm trying to think of course, you would have an atheist group or whatever, but somebody might hate on you for that. You know, it'd be any reason you're more atheist than they are. You know, we'll discuss that one of these days as far as what a real atheist is. Let's just say, without getting all into that in order to be an atheist, you do have to accept the idea of God in order to refute it. So I don't know if that really means you can be a real atheist. But anyway, I'm not hating. I'm just sharing some knowledge. But basically, to get back to the concept of hating, one major thing I'll use for myself, if you ever see me on the street, like I said, we're in the ATL, you'll notice that I am considered vertically challenged, short. And I've had women tell me, I'm an attractive man and everything. And so what I used to do to compensate for supposedly being short is when I would go to clubs, I would dance. I can dance. I may not look like it now, but I can dance. I can get around. And so you have these guys, they're all big and swole, what up, girl? And those particular guys may not be so light on their feet. Maybe even play for the football team. They wasn't that light on their feet when it came to dance floor. So they would hate. It's like, well, you already got the advantage. You got the jersey. You got the little, team behind you and all that. And it would still be a point where somebody would want to try to hate because, okay, you got this guy, and he's, short or whatever. He's got over 3.0. So that's a problem for some people. And then you have other situations. I won't get into it as far as names because I won't get sued or anything. But I had one situation where I was actually working for a large entertainment company here, big stars, ATL, and one of the major people that was in charge of all things facilities, which has nothing to do really with the entertainment, just the upkeep of the property, just made issue all the time as far as trying to like pick at me, and I guess the only thing he thought he could pick at me about was my height. Well, my height is my strength. It doesn't bother me. I might have, trouble reaching up on the refrigerator. I'm not that short. But, basically, that was something that he, as a hater, and this is what I'm leading into, haters try to find things they think that you feel is a weakness about you, but it may not bother you. It may actually be one of your strengths. Hey, I got a big nose. I got a good sense of smell. Hey, I got big ears. I can hear well. If you're a woman and maybe you got the little unibrow. I mean, some countries that's considered attractive. So if you find a man from that country with a lot of money, if you like his money, he likes your unibrow, guess what? They're going to be hating on you, your unibrow, and all that money. So don't let, hate work against you. And I mean, that's just one of those things that you'll see out there. So do you have any other examples considering hate?